Welcome back to Turn Down for What, your source for EV news and updates. Like and subscribe for more content like this episode. Let's dive on in.
Welcome back to Turn Down for What? Another day?
Another platinum kind of episode.
Platinum episode. This isn't even just a regular episode, it's a platinum episode. Once again, our counterparts on Tech Charged every Thursday night do a spectacular job at being mostly on time and weekly. They've missed like a week here and there, and we just have had chaos on our end. And right now, this week is kids' final week of school, and Jesse's off at a graduation, which I have that tomorrow. So it's just a kindergarten thing. But anyways, all that being said, we are back and we're here, and we wanted to come on and take this week and give a spotlight to the epic journey of our wonderful Chris Bowe. Chris had the opportunity to have, in my opinion, a once in a lifetime blitz of a trip. I mean, I wish you could have made it into like a week's journey rather than 3 days.
Yeah.
But we're going to kind of talk through your epic journey. I know you highlighted some of it last week on Tech Charged. You were live streaming from the roadway halfway through that journey, but wanted to go ahead and kind of spotlight the acquisition of your truck, the journey, and then obviously you got a lot of content that's going to be coming soon that we can tune into the journey. So walk us through, obviously, the truck trade-in, but then from landing to where you ended up.
Yeah. So first, kind of like you, my daughter is graduating elementary school. So right after this, I'll be heading over for her graduation ceremonies. So might be a little bit of an abbreviated turn down for what today. But yeah, it's, for those who don't know, my standard range Lightning died as I was on a trip to go see you for ACT Expo. And one in a series of unfortunate events with that truck. Love the truck, but it was the third time it's left me stranded somewhere amongst other various gremlins that it's faced. Josh was the man and got into a rental car, drove all the way up from Anaheim to Central Valley, California, near Harris Ranch, where he picked me up, and we went back and had an awesome week of ACT Expo. Still some videos to come of our week at ACT. So that was great. But yeah, it left me really with no truck. The dealer thought that they had fixed it at one point, and then just a couple hours later, alerts started going off on Ford Pass again. And it was clear that, once again, it was just demonstrated that something was going wrong there. So Ford at that point agreed, like, hey, I can just surrender it there to that dealer out, past Lemoore in Central California. If anybody knows that area, there's a big naval air station out there that's referenced in Top Gun, if anybody knows that movie. So yeah, it was left out there for the
turn off the show and go watch Top Gun, and then come back and watch the show, because if you've not watched Top Gun or the new Top Gun Maverick, you were just not doing yourself any favors.
Yeah, it was that air base is mentioned in Top Gun Maverick. So yeah, now the naval aviators maybe can blow it up or something and give it a proper send off. That would be great.
Yeah. That Lightning needs to have a nice, peaceful delivery to the sea and enjoy its life as a non-vehicle owner. I still don't even know what. I don't even understand. Like, they've replaced everything, so what is possibly wrong with that truck? But I don't know. That you had a lemon for sure.
Yeah, so that's I started the journey at that point of trying to find a new truck, and I looked at all the dealers that I had known here in the Bay Area and reached out to some folks, and nobody was really making any spectacular deals. Everybody was referencing the employee pricing, and that's fine, but there had been better deals to be had even than the employee pricing. And so Jace was really good about finding some stuff, and I just kind of put the word out to folks saying, hey, if you see a good deal, let me know. When I was in Arizona, I came across an okay deal. What I was kind of finding was, in general, I was finding late production run 23s in the high 50s. I was finding 24s in the low 60s. But then you could get a brand new 25, and I'm talking about Lariats now. I was finding Lariats in that kind of 78, 79. But you had to really be careful because a lot of them didn't have the full pro power. They only had the 2.4. Starting recently, they've stopped doing this. The spare tire isn't there, so you'd have to add that on. You have to be careful what you add on because suddenly it goes over the 80,000 and you can't get the tax break. So you had to be really cautious about that. But with the tax break, it ends up being at 72, somewhere in that area. And then Ford also gave me an extra $1,500 to apply to any new vehicle, so that would bring the price down a little bit. So searching and searching, and Jace comes across one that's doing like $73,000 out in Virginia. And I reach out to the guys in Virginia, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't sell to California." And that
what hurts?
Yeah, it wasn't strictly California hate. It did at first feel like, oh, what the heck, man? Like, I'm not selling to those California liberals.
Shout out that Ford dealership. How dare you? No, I'm just kidding.
So, well, it's funny because they since reached out to me and were just like, "Hey, what do we need to do to get you in for a test drive?" I'm like, "Bro, I had money to give you, and you told me no." Like, but that's just one of the, and I've found this with a lot of dealers. They have no clue. They're just, you reach out to them, they don't know that they've reached out to you before. A different person's calling you for a test drive, even though you, in the message to them, tell them you're in a different state. And
the dealership model fundamentally is broken.
Very broken.
I actively despise it. I appreciate like Tesla and the online model. I wish Ford would offer that. I understand the dealerships have a place, but just the whole nature of a dealership, I despise. As a salesperson myself, I look at the dealer and it just makes me angry because there's always something to be done. And the crazy thing is like 90% of the time I can find better deals somewhere else because they have more inventory that they move through. And just like you, I mean, we'll continue the story, but I mean, you have to travel across the nation to get a deal when it's like it should just be uniform and you shouldn't have this bias based on location. And California sells so many EVs, it's higher demand, so you're going to have less likely to get a deal than coming to Tennessee and Alabama, where you might find a better deal because they move but much slower.
Yeah, and that's what I found. And they would, people would advertise great prices, and I'd find out like Washington would advertise a great price, but it was inclusive of every possible like promotion you could get. Like you had to be a veteran, school teacher, nurse who lived in Washington State and had an income below 80,000. You're like, why are you advertising that price? Nobody is a veteran school teacher, nurse. You're like, you know what I mean? Making under 80,000. Like nobody's, and yeah, it was crazy. So but once I saw that deal in Virginia, it told me somewhere there are these deals. And so I started searching under 73,000 for platinums. Those were platinums, by the way, in Virginia. I was like, well, these things must exist. So I started searching for 24 Lariats or 24, 25 platinums under 73, and up pops Tennessee. And I'm like, I can go to Tennessee now. I didn't know the state well enough, so I was kind of hoping I'd get to see Josh and Jesse, as I flew out there.
2.5 hours away from us, and we were waving at each other from a close distance. But
yeah, and that happens to me all the time. Somebody will be like, "Oh yeah, I'll be down in and they'll tell me a place in Southern California," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's like 5 hours away." So it was Eastern Tennessee, but I guess not Eastern enough. So I did fly into Chattanooga, first time into Chattanooga, and went to Cleveland Ford, which is Cleveland, Tennessee, to be clear, because at first I did think I was going to also go to Ohio and get a chance to see Jace, but no, it was Cleveland, Tennessee. But they were great. The sales manager Todd took really great care of me. So yeah, reach out to him and they have more, guys. If you guys are looking for a deal on a platinum, they have a few of them that were at $73,000, depending on what they were optioned with. And these had the spare tire.
This is a $95,000 truck, and the fact that they have these deals now, I mean, less than what I paid for my Lariat 3 years ago, which makes me upset because I mean I would have easily pursued that deal now, but I was an early adopter, and I mean, Chris, you saw those pains at the time, but you now have a really good, solid deal on a platinum, which is awesome.
It was almost the exact same price as I paid for my standard range Lariat. Right there at 70,000. So it was, yeah. I looked at it and online, and then the salesperson Avery took and made a video for me so I could get an idea of that. So they really went out of their way, whereas others weren't going out of their way trying to sell to somebody who was 3,000 miles away. Yeah, these guys are great. They went through and they started to work with me on price, and even discounted to 72, 73, depending on what trim I wanted. These things it already had the spare tire, which I was going to want to add anyway. It had the full Pro Power, which the Platinums do anyway. The one case of the one I went with, it had the bed liner, and I was definitely going to want to add the spray in bed liner. So this had the factory one.
My truck, and I do appreciate that spec.
Yeah, it's nice. It's got the cool Ford logo on the bed that you can only get if you get it with factory. So not that it functionally matters.
With the spraying liner is, they have those hooks that you can snap into your bag.
Yep.
They sprayed over one of them. I don't ever use those hooks, but I have one of those that's actually sprayed over that I can't use unless they went and fixed it. I don't know why they did that, but
yeah, it's sometimes you get some questionable things happening with that spray in bed liner. I looked at that because I had seen that before. Mine weren't sprayed over the hooks, but they were sprayed so thick in my original one. The standard range was sprayed so thick that when you tried to put the box link in, the box link was really hard to get into place, and you almost had to sand and kind of grind down to get into place the right way. One of the cuts they did make is the box link is not included, so I'm gonna have to go and buy the box link separate. They have these kind of cheap hook spec things that are in there where the box links go, but whatever. Can't fight on something like that. It did have the power running boards, which I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about those, but it is cool to see the power running boards deploy and then go back up again. So yeah, it had all the different specs, and then I started working with them on price. I had the extra $1,500 off from Ford. I did an extra $500 off because I wasn't getting a home charger, which is that used to be $1,000 off, but it is only 500 off now. And then I was like, I don't need the mobile charger or the adapter. I have those, so that was like another 500 off. And then I was like, hey, why don't we just get this to a nice clean? I got to get on a plane. Make me get on a plane and get out there. Let's make it a clean 70K. And we just worked on the deal together, and we made the numbers work. So got it down there to where it was just over 70K. And then you've got, of course, sales tax and, title and stuff that comes out to California. So that all was on top of that. But it was a really great deal. So I got on a plane and I went out there and it's a long flight to get out there. You can't just go straight. You got to go to where is that?
Yeah.
Was it Charlotte? Yeah. So went to Charlotte, went to Chattanooga, got into an Uber, stayed the night at a hotel. Avery came out and picked me up at the hotel, drove me to the Ford dealer, had the truck was plugged in and charging up, ready to go. We did the deal, and then I hit the road. So yeah, there's Avery. Shout out to him. Like young kid. Dude's got TikTok followers. He's got like 50,000 TikTok followers, by the way.
I'm sure the hair did the deal on TikTok.
It's the hair. Yeah. Dude's Ford famous.
Well done, buddy.
Yeah. Great job by Avery, man. He's got a great following out there in East Tennessee. So, but yeah, if you're in that area, you're willing to get in a plane or a car and get out there to Tennessee, check out Cleveland Ford, man. They've got a good selection. They have I think 6 or 7 platinums still left. They're making deals on them. So there's the Ford Charger that we don't have these really in California that I've seen. So it was cool. We've seen Robert Hayes, who's been on the show before. This is what they deploy from Ford. This is their spec. There was 3 of these on site, and then each one you can have two cars plugged into it, so 6 altogether. It was a great dealer. It was really cool. The views out there in Tennessee, man, second to none. I mean, this normally in California, this is in the middle of an auto mall somewhere, surrounded by Costco's and whatever, and this place was surrounded by tree-filled hills and just a beautiful view. I mean, if you're going to work at a dealer all day, what a great place to have a great view.
Absolutely. Yeah. Once you get past Nashville, you start coming up into the mountain ranges of East Tennessee. There's nothing like it. And I got to go out to Anaheim, and I drove through the Grapevine and experienced I-5 up into the valley. Once you get to the valley, it's mostly flat. But the mountains there, it's just different. And we were on the phone, Chris, and it was one of those things that you're just like, it's a different look. And it's just something that you're not used to being from the other side of the nation, and even the Rocky Mountains and everything. It's just, there's different terrains as you approach. And when you get over to the Smoky Mountains or up here to the Appalachian Mountains, you see these tree covered mountains and lakes, and it's just a different scene that is it's beautiful. We've never
really
been
is.
to see Chattanooga all the way up to where I live up in Johnson City area. It's a beautiful, beautiful area.
Yeah, so from there, I kind of went down. You gave me some help in terms of how to go the right route because I needed to head down to Arkansas. So I went and saw Franklin Charging, which is something I had seen before and heard about. And this place was really cool. So it had a couple new charge point chargers, and then had a couple old charge point car chargers. It also had a Free Wire, and I had, Free Wire is a company that was has since gone out of business, but they were right here in the Bay Area, not too far from where I live at all.
I found this out the other day. The new CEO for Tritium, that
Arcady.
that is Arcady, that is now the new CEO of Tritium, was the one that founded and started FreeWire.
Yes.
I had no clue. I was talking to him, and he brought up FreeWire. I was like, "Yeah, I mean, that was such a great idea." And he was like, "Yeah, I started that company." I was like, "What? Oh, that's crazy."
Yeah.
But yeah, Arcady was involved in the FreeWire product, and it's a good product. It's just I think they came into the scene a little early when it came to the use case, but I mean, it was a good concept. And I think battery buffered charging is a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
Definitely
So
has
that
some plus.
so that was great to see. So I got to meet Joel from EV Geek was there, and the guy that runs Franklin Charging, he was there. He gave me a personal tour. So I got a video of Franklin Charging coming out pretty soon. He's got a little like a snack shop in there with Wi-Fi, bathrooms, air conditioning. Which, believe me, man, it's hot and humid down there, Josh. I don't know how you live there. That air conditioner felt so good. This was at night, and it was still so humid.
But what I'll
Uh,
say is, once you kind of leave the mountains and get to the flats, and you're in southern the United States, it's very. I mean, Alabama, Mississippi, that whole area. It's even if you go over the mountains to North Carolina, once you get down the mountain range, the humidity just ticks up, and it's a lot more swampy as far as the humidity, and all the way down to Florida, it's just miserable.
yeah,
But
well, this is, what the thing I loved about this is it reminded me of you and Jesse because JT, who founded Franklin's Charging, he wanted to do something for his community the same way you guys wanted to have your chargers for Tennessee by Tennessee people. He being from Arkansas, he wanted something for his community because it was a forgotten area of the country. And so, yeah, JT was great, showed me around, and I just thought that was super cool that he built that. He's got the canopy like you guys talk about having. He's got the little shop. And so all the ticked all the boxes, man. I think we definitely need to have him come on the show. I think he'd be really fun to talk to. I think you guys have a lot of parallels. So yeah, that was a blast. And then from there, I started heading north and went up to Kansas, where I then met with Martin Meek, who does our Thursday show with us. This is his shop for Martin Rebuilds, and there's his truck, there's my truck, there's a Tesla there to the right that you can't see. It's got a Mach-E, and then I go through his shop with him, and we do a video with him as well, and we talk about what his shop looks like and all the stuff that he has. So again, just this amazing trip as I'm making my way across the country, getting to visit all these places and these people that even though I've been talking to Martin for years, never had the opportunity to meet him, much less be able to see the shop where he does all the work and makes the magic happen.
very cool. Yeah, I mean, if it was me, like you got to hit Franklin's Charge, you got to hit Martin. I mean, these are staples that, like, once again, I've talked to Martin a ton of times, never gotten to go visit him and see him. And as we progress through the journey, there's several of those. I've not been able to obviously go to their source destination, but we've gotten to talk to the individuals either abroad or virtually. So it's definitely, I mean, you hit all the spots.
Yeah, so as I'm there in Kansas, I need to make my way to Colorado, and I realized this takes me right down. I think it's I-70, and right through Salina, Kansas. And I'm like, Salina, Kansas, man, that's where our boy Tim Bartz is. That's where, and so Long MacArthur Ford, right there right there on the way. And I'm like, dude, I got to reach out to Tim. So, I messaged Tim. I said, hey, man, I'm gonna be coming through in about an hour. I know it's last minute. Are you around? He's like, yeah, man, I'm around. Come on by. Let's get together. So yeah, so I swing by Long MacArthur Ford, did a video with him, talked about some of the special things they're doing. Got to see his area where he does his weekly podcast. And so yeah, got to meet his son. He's the whole Long MacArthur family. His brother-in-law is the general manager. He's the internet sales manager. His son helps with a lot of the social media stuff. So it was cool to see it. We got to see a really cool Mach-E rally there. They're doing some special kind of almost like old school throwback lightnings that are supercharged gas vehicles with the single cab. They lower it. They do all these kind of, they got Alcantara in the inside. they really spec it out. So it was cool just to see that dealer again that I had heard so much about, and we talked to him on the show, and yeah, so just a great guy, Ford video guy, part of the community. And so to see Tim Bartz and to get a tour was super cool. So yeah.
If you're listening and you haven't checked out Long MacArthur as well, go look at their content and also Tim's, because they have weekly content around everything, and it's great content.
Yeah, and I reached out to him to see if he had any, but they just didn't have the inventory. There was not I bought from him, but yeah, so that was cool. So then I started heading further into Colorado, and one of my along the way, I stopped in Iona. I stopped. One of the places I wanted to stop also was a Buc-ee's. So made my way, found a Buc-ee's along the way out in Colorado. My first
experience.
What's that?
Is that your first ever Buc-ee's
Yes.
experience?
Yes, yeah. My first Buc-ee's experience. Huge place, chaotic place, not necessarily something I would seek out. It's a spectacle. I get why people want to go to it. This picture doesn't do justice to how this looks like I'm standing in front of like a 7-Eleven that you walk into and you walk out of, no big deal. This place was like a double Costco, packed with people in every direction, lines that were just
Buc-ee's. They understand. If you've not been to a Buc-ee's, just Google the footprint of a Buc-ee's and you'll understand. It's basically Walmart with 1,000 gas pumps outside.
Yeah. Giant place. So then from there, I made my way over to the Out of Spec hub, and I got to meet up with Kyle Connor. We had met him before at Act Expo a couple of different times. So it wasn't my first time meeting Kyle, but it's my first time getting to see the hub. And he has just did a video of like the EX30 and a bunch of others that he just did of like the small, mid-size SUV and they were all there. All those cars were there. He had just released that video on. He just throws me the keys of the Volvo and he's like, here you go, take it for a spin. And, I take it, there's a street right behind him where you can kind of, you can give it the beans, so to speak. And yeah, it was great. And then we went over to the Colorado area where they've got like the X Charge, which is a lot like the FreeWire. So I was just trying to hit all these different chargers that I would normally not get to see or experience. And so he was great and brought me by the Colorado Powerhouse and got to just see all the work that was being done there. And so I've got a video tour of the Out of Spec hub coming, where you just kind of walk through the space and kind of show off what that looks like as well.
And he's still drinking his cold brew, black, just straight black cold brew. I asked him, I was talking, I was like, what are you drinking? Because it just looks like dirt and I love it. And he was like, it's just cold brew, straight cold brew. I was like, what a man, what a guy.
Right. Not staged. This is literally how I drove up. He already had his cold brew ready to go, and he did a great video on the Lightning. So if you check out of Spec Bits, there's a great video that Kyle did with me on the truck. Already after 4 days has reached top 10. It is the top 10 video right now on the Out of Spec Bits channel. So I felt good about that because he wanted to do a video, and if it would have bombed, I'd have felt bad. Like, oh man, you took the time to make a video and nobody watched it.
It's gone viral. And the whole video is you. So, I mean, you are the staple now of Out of Spec Bits. You're welcome, Kyle. We lent you Chris Bowe. And, but no, it was good content. It was cool to walk through and tell the story and obviously have a platform like that to be able to share that on.
Yeah, and then my last stop was, of course, to go see, again, friend of the show, Ben Westby, that we've seen. The dude's living at the top of the world, man. This is top of the Rocky Mountains. And behind you can see, if you got a big enough screen, this winding road that you have to come up, dirt gravel road, which is as close to off-roading as I've ever been in a Lightning. So I broke in the Platinum properly. Great host, let me stay overnight there at his place. He's got this great Airbnb kind of, glamping tent yurt thing. It's got a bed, a little mini fridge. It's got there's a barbecue, a fire pit, a picnic bench, a couple tables to watch the sunrise. Got him, meet his chickens and his dogs and his family. And truly just one of the great people in the EV community. To get to spend time with Ben was really special. And then it was literally 24 hours of driving because I woke up at his place at 5 a.m, left around 6. And I got home at 4:30 in the morning the next day. And there's a 1 hour difference between Mountain Time and Pacific. So, I mean, it was literally like a 24 hour drive straight through Utah.
Was it Utah and
Nevada, over the Sierra? Yeah. So I went over the Mississippi River, the Missouri, the Colorado, through the the hills of Tennessee, the plains of Kansas, the Great Salt Lake, over the Sierra Nevadas. I mean, I went through so many things, so many parts of America to see, and none of the pictures do justice to any of it. But it was an epic journey. So I'm glad I got to share it along the way. There's a bunch of posts on X. I'll have a bunch of videos coming out when I can eventually edit all this stuff and get some videos up. Dude, Kyle had his video up like an hour after we had met. I'm like, oh my God, I need to figure out how to
production.
Yeah, I need to simplify my video making process because it'll take me a while to get my stuff up. But it will be coming. So
we don't have the operation in place. But what I will encourage every listener to do is follow Bowe Family EV on YouTube. Follow, obviously, Turn Down for What on YouTube. We'll have much more of this story and the subsequent videos on the channels. But yeah, follow Chris, and he'll be showcasing his whole journey, because just such an epic road trip, and excited. I'm happy that you got to do it. I'm jealous that you got to do it. I mean, honestly, the Ben Westby mountain views to the Kyle Connor hub to the epic charging stops. I mean, it's such an experience that even a big fish like Electric had posted on their LinkedIn, like, who's taking the longest road trip? And I was like, Chris Bowe just did it.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that is a long road trip, but so cool.
2,900 miles. I just hit 3,000 yesterday on the truck. So an epic journey. So thanks to all that were along the way. And thanks for letting me share it.
Absolutely. Well,
let's go see our kids graduate.
Do what?
Let's go see our kids' last day of school.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll end it there for today because we got a busy schedule, but wanted to kind of hop on, share Chris's journey, encourage everyone. Follow Bowe Family EV on YouTube. Obviously, lots of content to come there, but also congratulations, Chris, on your epic truck. Made me jealous. The platinum just looks so good. So enjoy that, but tune in to Turn Down for What for more EV news and updates. We have some really exciting content coming soon. Got some really awesome interviews lined up, and we're hoping to film another one next week and have it posted closer to our original target of Tuesday. So we will catch up with everybody next week. But for now, thanks for tuning in to Turn Down for What. Stay tuned. See you next time.
See you guys.
Thanks for tuning in to Turn Down for What. Make sure you're subscribed with your notifications on to tune in to more EV news and updates. See you next time.
You did an excellent